What's happening, everybody? JayShockblast here, and we are here to talk about LEGO The Incredibles. And there are 113 characters in the game. We're looking at two of them right now. We've got the robot, who we have seen in a number of other LEGO games, including LEGO City and LEGO Worlds. And we have Hypershock, and these are my two honorable mentions for my top 10 characters in LEGO The Incredibles. And it's pretty easy to see why I love the robot. It'd be pretty easy to say, hey, they just kind of, borrowed him from another game, but it's fine with me. It's not a filler character. I mean, he does some pretty sick dances, and he also has a pretty sweet move. This guy is definitely supposed to be a bad guy. You'll understand when he does it. And then there's Hypershock. And Hypershock reminds me of a lot of characters. He reminds me of the Rocketeer. And he also kind of reminds me of Juggernaut. I love his suit. I haven't quite made my own character yet, but it's very possible I might use his little jacket. Of course, the robot isn't doing the kind of Undertaker slit throat move that I think is the most hysterical. But these are two characters that I kind of fought really hard to include on my list, and they just didn't quite make it. But we are going to talk about the 10 characters that I do like the most. And one of the things about my list, I don't know anything about most of these characters, number one. I don't know about the Incredibles lore. I don't know about all their extra heroes. But, here it is. Love it. So, I'm honestly just going by how awesome they look. And that is pretty much it. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to my top 10 favorite characters in LEGO The Incredibles. At number 10, we have Plasma Bolt. I don't know anything about Plasma Bolt, but she looks awesome. She's kind of got that wasp look going for her. It's got the kind of wings, the little pack. She's got the electric out of her hands. And she obviously does electric stuff. Of course, she's not looking the right way. I like this spot in the game because it's not easy to get the characters in the frame, and this is definitely a really good spot. Unfortunately, it doesn't let them do their their shooting mechanics as well as I would hope. But it is what it is. I think she just looks fantastic. A little plain on the top, just all black, but at the same time, just a really cool character. So number 10, we have Plasma Bolt. At number 9, we have Tradewind. And Tradewind is a pretty cool looking character. I love his metallic reflective suit. I also love the fact that he does quite a few powers. If you go into the menu, you can see he's got quite a few. He can swim, he does water, he does fire, he does targeting, and he flies. I think any character that flies automatically gets ranked higher on my list. And Tradewind is just pretty cool looking. Really it comes down to looks and usability. And I found that I used him quite often. So that is pretty much it. He doesn't necessarily do water. I think he puts out fire. And obviously he does wind damage, but he puts out fire, and he can do stuff that water does. That's a better explanation. So at number 9, we have Tradewind. At number 8, we have Universal Man, and Universal Man can fly. He doesn't have a cape, but that's fine. I love the little spike on his head. It's not normally my style, but it actually is pretty cool. I don't know if this is a good guy or a bad guy. I'm led to believe by his mannerisms that he's a bad guy. The punching of the fist. But maybe he's just trying to look tough. I don't know. But I love the razor blade on his chest for his emblem. I don't love purple. Purple's actually one of my least favorite colors. But I don't know. He rocks it. He makes it look pretty cool. So that's why number 8 for me, Universal Man. And he does what does he do? He does a sound kind of power. So I don't want to say sonar, but something similar. Also looks like he has invincibility, and some of these icons I just don't know yet. Oh, it's not actually Sonar that he does. So he's a sharpshooter. And invincibility. And immunity. Flight. And he can bulldoze. That's a cool one. So, Universal Man, number 8. At number 7, we have Gazer Beam. And how do you not like Gazer Beam? I mean, look at them in the background. This is basically Cyclops as far as I'm concerned. Now, I did watch the first Incredibles movie, maybe not the second. And I do remember a scene in the movie where they find what I believe is his skeleton. So he's really not supposed to be alive, but I think they did a good job of working him into the story. Obviously, he shoots lasers, kind of like Cyclops. I love his animations. Like, honestly, that idle animation where he's throwing the bottles up and shooting is really cool. And then the smirk on his face after he's done. The very satisfied, yeah, buddy. Look at it. Ready? Yeah, buddy. I just love it, I think it's a really cool animation. Here it comes. Oh, look at that. Dust it off. Dust my shoulder. Yeah. How do you not love Gazer Beam for that? So, number 7 on my list is Gazer Beam. At number 6 on my list, we have Phyronic. And I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. I think he's a bad guy. Because if you listen to him talk, he has this, demonic voice. So, of course, we have to stand here and hope that he talks. Come on, buddy, you can do it. He actually has lines that he says. Come on. I do like his poses, too. You can hear that deep kind of growl or rawr. But when he actually talks, he's very demonic, and I think that's what won him over for me. Obviously, he flies and he's a fire damage guy.
Is it true? Am I too serious? No, it is the citizens who are wrong. I am very lighthearted and joyous.
Ha! There it is. I knew if I waited long enough, obviously I cut this a little bit, that he would say something, but come on. How awesome is that? So at number 6, we had Phyronic. At number 5, we have Wally. That's right, folks. Wally from PIXAR's Wally is one of the 13 PIXAR characters in the game, and he is just too cool. I mean, I loved Wally. I thought it was such an amazing movie. Sir Wallen is also one of my favorite YouTubers, and we always call him Wally. So I think of Wally, I think of him. So obviously he had to be in my top 10 list. And just look at how awesome he is. I mean, he's just a really cool character. Obviously he operates really well. He melees, and he does laser, obviously. So, just a really cool character. I mean, I think a lot of us would have loved to have seen more PIXAR characters. But as PIXAR characters go, I actually only have 3 on my list, which is a little surprising, even to me. And Wally definitely deserved to be there. So at number 5, we had Wally. At number 4, we have Seer. And I just love his suit. I think he looks really, really cool. He does lots of pretty cool powers. Yeah, that's what I went with. I think he's just an awesome looking character, and that's really all I can go off of for a bunch of things. He flies, so obviously he meets my prerequisite as far as different characters and why I like them. So, yeah, man, he does eventually say some things if you leave him idle long enough. It's not necessarily as cool as when Phyronic does it, but it's still pretty cool nonetheless. some of his powers, though, he can fly, he can move the Lego objects, he can mind control, he can target, and he has like the superpowers. So like I said, a very cool Swiss Army knife style character that does some great powers that a lot of other characters don't necessarily do. So that is definitely one of the reasons why I like Seer. And I honestly just feel like, you know, he's the type of character that I would like because he's awesome. That's all that matters. And he's got I think it's just the silver reflectiveness. He kind of has a little Doctor Doom vibe, even though I think he's more of like a Vision style character maybe to me. But yeah, man, I love that Doctor Doom vibe. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep saying and yeah, because I don't know how you can say it any differently. So at number 4 we have Seer. At number 3 we have Splashdown, and Splashdown has a lot of really great things going for him that I just really like. Number 1, he flies. Number 2, he goes underwater. Those are 2 really important things. So when I was doing free roam around the city, he was pretty much my go-to guy, because I knew if I needed to get somewhere fast, he could do it. If I needed to do something underwater, he could do it. And it was just very seamless in going back and forth. He does have that weird dolphin sound that he does every once in a while, which is I don't know, a little weird, but I can tolerate that overall. Another thing, red's my favorite color, so he's got himself the red cape and he's got some red arms and some red legs. Another thing, he's got the shiny gold chest piece. And then the last thing just so happens to be that he has the Great Wave on his chest. I think it's like the Great Wave of Nagasaki or something like that. I've had a poster of that artwork on my wall for like 20 years. I've had to buy it more than once, obviously, through moving and such. But it's probably my favorite piece of artwork. I love Japanese style artwork like that artist. That artist is from like the 1800s, and he has like a bunch of different, art pieces that are pretty famous. And I have like 5 or 6 posters literally in my bedroom right now. Like, that's my decorating style in my bedroom, is I've got a couple of those type of art prints on my wall. And when I saw it on this guy, I was just in love. I thought, what an awesome character, what an awesome outfit. He's only number 3 because the 2 characters ahead of him are just really famous and favorite PIXAR characters. But as far as characters from The Incredibles, this one was my favorite, and I just really can't say enough about how cool he looks. So at number 3, we have Splashdown. At number 2, we have Sully from Monsters, Inc., and he can barely even fit in the frame. He's so big and so awesome. His head hits the light. Sully is just too cool, man. I can't say enough about how awesome they did with Sully. He's just a fun character. I've loved him in, like, I'm not even like a big Disney movie fan or Pixar movie fan or even a Monsters, Inc. fan, but as a character, I think I've just always really loved the way Sully looked, and I've just loved the character in general. So to have him in this game as one of the PIXAR characters represented is just too cool. And I don't know, man, like, he just looks so great in Lego form. And the manner, like, look at his face here. How can you not love him? I was really excited to get him in the new Disney game that just hit like iOS and Android. It's like Disney Heroes or something like that. I haven't played it much, but I've played a little bit, and I was really happy that he was one of the characters I got. So I mean, I really don't think I have to spend too much time telling you how awesome Sully is. And he has got like this angry growl that shatters glass, which is awesome. Yeah, man, like Sully, he's just too cool. So number 2 on my list, Sully from Monsters, Inc. And at number 1, as if there was any doubt, we have Lightning McQueen from the Pixar's Cars, or Disney's Cars. And what an awesome character. I'd never in a million years thought that a character from Cars could come across so well in a Lego game, but he really does. Like, honestly, I don't know that he's technically a speedster. As a matter of fact, if we go into the menu, it just tells you that he does like lighting stuff. So if there's a dark area, he'll go in and do the lighting. But he's definitely faster than your normal character. Maybe not dash fast, but he's still pretty fast. And you can do a lot of races with him as well. I just honestly can't speak highly enough about how much they really just nailed lightning. He's just a really cool character, a lot of fun. And then if you let him sit idle long enough, he'll start like posing for the cameras. I really think and wish that this was a Disney PIXAR game or a Lego PIXAR game and not necessarily just The Incredibles. I think they did really well with The Incredibles, and as far as different individual movie franchises go, you really can't go that wrong with The Incredibles. But with that said, I just feel like, you know, there's enough stuff that you can do with Toy Story and some of the other Pixar movies that, you know, they would have definitely been really cool to have, you know, to use as well. Woody is here from Toy Story instead of Buzz Lightyear. I do feel like if they had chosen Buzz Lightyear instead, he might be sitting here at number 1, but I digress. In any event, I would have loved to have seen them include maybe 2 Pixar characters per movie. I know that the limitations are probably on the Disney side and not them. It's not that they didn't want to do it, but they were probably limited by Pixar. So it is what it is. But overall, Lightning McQueen is my favorite, and he's probably going to be yours too if you love Cars. So that's it, man. That's my top 10 favorite characters in Lego The Incredibles. Obviously, I didn't include any of the actual Incredibles themselves. If I did have to pick one of the family, you know, I would actually tend to say it's going to be Dash, even though Jack is really cool that he can do a bunch of different things. But Dash is a speedster. He is the speedster. And quite frankly, I think we all love our speedsters in our Lego games. So it had to be Dash. And if you were asking me right now to pick a least favorite character, I don't think I'm going to do a top 10 least favorite. But if you had to tell me, Jay, I need you to pick a least favorite character right now, who would it be? That answer is very easy. It's Russell from Up.
My name is Russell, and I am a Wilderness Explorer in Type 54, Sweat Lodge 12. Are you in need of any assistance today?
And that is why, right there. Every single time you bust him out, he tells you that his name is Russell, and he's a freaking Boy Scout, and blah, 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 blah. Russell, we get it. We get it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you.